Hello, my name is Sebbi and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Sunday, November 17th, 2024. I am back from Florence. It was fantastic. It was downright amazing. But let's start from the beginning and talk about the journey to Florence. But first, I need to feed the very hungry cat. Since I'm back from a journey, it is definitely time for a salmon. Cat, what do you think about a salmon? Yes, you seem interested. Salmon is good. Alright, then here you go. He's good? He's good. The cat approves. The cat approves the salmon. So I can step outside, watch that high-flying bee, check that the salmon are happy, the bee definitely is happy, the bee is going for a survey flight. Well, careful. Careful, it's raining. Yeah, you better return to your home. It's not the weather for bees to fly around. The journey to Florence was very good. However, I did a last minute change, so to say. I initially booked a train that would have brought me to Frankfurt Airport just in time, but as I got an email from the Deutsche Bahn in the morning informing me that they changed the train itself for that particular journey, I got a little bit alert that this might not be the only change, and in the end we do have a huge delay and I miss my flight, or I can't drop off my baggage anymore, or something along those lines. In this case I thought, okay, I always get a ticket that is flexible, so that depending on how I do, I can change or take a different train without any difficulties, without basically losing the entire ticket. And so I checked when will the train before the train I initially wanted to use departs, and got to the train station a little bit earlier. Not sure if it was really necessary, but I was more on the safe side, so yeah. Last minute change early in the morning. Okay, I'm going to the train station a little bit earlier. Got to the train station. It was a little bit exciting, as around 8 a.m. there's lots of traffic in the town. I started my trip to the train station early, but it still took a very long time getting there. I had, I don't know, 4 minutes left or so as I arrived at the train station. But yeah, everything went well there. Got my train, got to Frankfurt Airport. Since I was flying with Lufthansa, well, not Lufthansa directly, but a partner of the Lufthansa airline, I had the luxury of dropping my packages off right at the entrance of the airport. That's super convenient when you get to the airport by train and you enter the airport right when you enter the airport, there's the big Lufthansa baggage drop-off, so that's fantastic. That's really nice. Quickly got rid of my backpack, then had to wait a little bit longer at the gate because I arrived way ahead of time, but at least I was on the safe side just in case the Deutsche Bahn does something stupid again. I used this time to edit a little bit the Copenhagen video, so made some progress with video editing while I was waiting. Finally was time to board the plane. As always with those smaller flights, they have the plane parked somewhere on the apron, which requires you to first get into a shuttle bus driving you to the airplane. It's always interesting to see how people rush to the gate as soon as they announce the opening of the gates, as they announce that, okay, we start boarding. But then they still have to wait in the bus to get to the real plane, so that's always the thing where I think, guys, relax. You still have to wait in a bus. You're not getting to the plane earlier just because you rush to the gate. But anyways, got into the plane after the short shuttle bus ride, and yeah, the journey began. Was a good flight. It was a short flight, only 1 hour 35 minutes or so. Really quick flight. It was nice to see the Alps from above. Also, I was really amazed and surprised seeing Italy from above. That, hey, Italy's kind of hilly actually. So I don't know why I wasn't expecting this. I expected Italy to be flat for some reason, but no, it's kind of hilly. So it was also nice to watch. Yeah, then we landed in Florence. It's a nice small airport, so yeah, not much chaos there. Once again, we ended on the apron, so had to use a shuttle bus, but everything was super convenient. Everything was super quick. The baggage arrived quickly. So quickly could grab my backpack and started my short walk to the tram line, to the tram station. This was also super convenient, super thankful for my host recommending me taking the tram line instead of the shuttle bus. I think every 5 to 10 minutes there's a tram leaving the airport, so that's super cool. Got to the big train station of Florence. From there started my walk. I was kind of hungry at this time, so I thought, okay, I heard of a street food place that should be rather good. Let's try to get there before heading over to the cafe, the bar where I was supposed to meet my host. Getting to that street food place was a little bit more complicated, as I completely neglected the fact that the G7 meeting, G7 situation is taking place in Florence. Over the course of the days I was in Florence, so there was lots of police, there was lots of gendarmeria, there was lots of military, there was everything. Some roads in the center of the city were blocked. I just thought, hey guys, I mean, sure that you have to do your political stuff and so on, and you have to do something for the worldwide economy and so on. But why do you have to do this in the center of the city where lots of tourists and everything is all about, and you're just causing a big headache for everyone else? But anyways, so yeah, it was first a little bit difficult getting there, then getting from that street food place where I had a nice sandwich for lunch, getting to the to the place where I should meet my host also took a little bit longer. I was also a little bit suffering from a little culture shock, so to say. I simply wasn't used that streets, alleys are so narrow, that the walkways for the pedestrians are super narrow, that you partly had to walk on the roads, that sometimes where there was a sign like, hey, that's pedestrian only, there's still little motorbikes, little Vespers, little other guys, all the police cars, of course, and all the taxis that they still drive through there. So it first was like, what is going on here? Why so much? Why so much people? Why so much traffic? Why chaos? But over the course of the journey, I got used to it, and in the end, I started to like it because it was not like, okay, when you walk on the street or so, it's completely bad. But it was basically accepted or expected that you walk on the street and that you mix between all those motor-driven vehicles and all the other tourists and so on. So it was chaos, but it was fun chaos. Anyways, I all of a sudden ended up at the Ponte Vecchio, which was super beautiful. I didn't expect that I see it right after arriving, basically, but for some reason my walk to the place where I was supposed to meet my host ended up to be a little bit in a detour, but that's fine. I eventually and finally got there. She was super welcoming. I got a quick coffee. I got her some biscuits, that bakery, that bar bakes everything themselves. So I was really enjoying this place every morning for breakfast. They had so much delicious pastry. They were looking at me like crazy every morning when I said, "Hey, I like to have that and that and that, please." They are supposed, or they're used that the people order maybe one pastry or so, and not like a pastry selection for an entire family. But well, that's me. I'm hungry. Um, so yeah, very very delicious biscuits, nice coffee to wake up again. She gave me a quick tour through the Airbnb, and after we exchanged phone numbers, she also texted me lots of recommendations for bars, restaurants, trattorias, and other places where I can have food, dinner, nice things. So yeah, that was cool. It was also available nearly 24/7, basically. I'm not quite sure. I haven't tested if she also replies when I sent her a message in the middle of the night, but she was so welcoming, so responsive. This was really amazing, getting so many information from her. And yeah, then I decided to go for a quick run, explore a little bit Florence. This first run was still a little bit on the chaotic side because I wasn't used to all that chaos. And I was still suffering a little bit from the culture shock, but all the other runs then were so much better. Found an interesting loop, very very flat, good surface. On those streets, roads with no traffic and so on, where was running than the other days. That was perfect. After I was done with that, I rested a little bit at my Airbnb before heading out again. I did a quick walk back to the Ponte Vecchio to see it also during nighttime, so to say, in its full glory. It was nice. It was really nice. Finally, I wanted to go to one of the places she recommended, but I entered basically a door too early. Those restaurants are really piled up. I mean, everyone has a restaurant, so in the end, I entered the wrong restaurant. It was a fish place, but it was also very good. So I really enjoyed the first evening, the first dinner there, even though it was not one of the recommended places. It was still a very good place. I really had enjoyed the food. Tried lots of Tuscan cuisine with respect to fish that day. So yeah, what was great. Then I did a quick walk through those narrow streets in the vicinity of my Airbnb before heading home, going to bed. Well, actually, first I edited some YouTube short and then went to bed. As the next day, I had to get up early to get up to the dome, the cupola of the Cathedral Santa Maria del Fiore. This was fantastic. On the one hand, it was super amazing, as it was so. It was kind of calm and relaxed in the morning in Florence, in the center of Florence. Not many people were about, so that was good. I also noticed, okay, I should have made maybe a little bit more research or a little bit more preparations. On the way to the cathedral, all of a sudden stood in front of a very impressive looking house building, and I thought, wow, this looks cool. Really nice building. I like. Which, without actually knowing what this building was, it turned out to be the Palazzo Vecchio, which is also a very, very famous building and very impressive building. But yeah, I just stood there and thought, hey, great building. Well done. 5 of 5 stars. Me and my preparations. Learning things as I go and not learning things ahead of time or so. But yeah, got to the cathedral. As I turned around the corner and I saw the cathedral for the very first time, I was blown away. The facade is so magnificent. Wow, yeah, I was speechless. It was really one of those moments of awe when you stand there and you see, wow, people have built this many years ago. Cool, really cool. Getting up to the cupola was also nice. I was so impressed by the painting and the ceiling of the dome. That's also a thing one really has to experience. All the videos, all the pictures don't do justice to it to really be there and see it up close. This was great. This was fantastic. Of course, also being on top of the cupola, having a view from above the roofs of Florence. Amazing, really beautiful place that is. And yeah, of course, getting up those stairs was no problem at all. I can see why people with some cardiovascular problems or people with claustrophobia shouldn't be there, but in general, I would say that's easy. But on the other hand, I'm also well trained, so for me, it was definitely easy. I haven't even broken into sweat or something like that. Speaking of breaking into sweat, as I got there early in the morning, I haven't had breakfast or so. After I finished being on top of the cupola, I first went to my Airbnb to then switch to my running gear. Did a 10-kilometer run. This fantastic loop I discovered. Subsequently, I went to this cafe, bakery, bar, however you want to call it, to have my first breakfast in Florence. Very delicious. After I did that, I returned to the center of Florence. The ticket I bought before even starting that journey, the only thing I really prepared ahead of time, also included access to the various museums that deal with things of the cathedral Santa Maria del Fiore. So went into the main museum of it. Really cool to see those statues, art, paintings, everything. It was amazing. But while I was there, and it was already lunchtime, I noticed, okay, those pastries are delicious, but being a high fuel consumption guy, I immediately got hungry, basically. So I thought, okay, let's look for one of those pizza places my host recommended. Very delicious pizza place I found. I had I forgot the name. I think was it Pizza Puglia or so? Was it the Puglia region? I'm not quite sure. I forgot that region, which was the name of the pizza. But yeah, very delicious, very good. Had also a nice chat with the owner of the restaurant, of the pizza place, and yeah, all good, all nice. With that pizza enjoyed, I finally had energy again to head back into the center of Florence. It was always basically I was on the well the center of Florence is on the north side basically of the river, and my place on the south side of the river. So I was basically constantly walking in between those two areas. All the food, all the eating, all the sleeping, everything I did was on the south side, but all the exploration and so on was mostly on the north side. So yeah, returned back and went to the Palazzo de Medici Riccardo. This was really nice place. Really enjoyed it. Full of art, full of history. Subsequently, I continued on to the Galleria dell'Accademia, where Michelangelo's David, is located. Man, this statue, this piece of art is fantastic. It's so amazing. It's huge, and not only it's huge, but it has also so many great details. I mean, even on the hands, on the forearms of David, one can see some blood vessels sticking out. So, wow, Michelangelo was a true guy. Yeah, this was amazing. That was great. Also seeing all those other pieces of art in that museum. I was especially amazed by some of the religious paintings from the 13th and 14th century. I was just thinking, not only, well, on the one hand, I realized, okay, they haven't invented photorealism yet, so the heads and faces and so on were a little bit uncanny to some extent, but still, they did a good job. What amazed me even more was the fact, like, hey, that thing I'm standing in front of is more than 600 years old. So, wow, what will exist 600 years from now from our era? Will there anything exist still? Or what's 600 years from now? Maybe we are no more because global warming got us all. But who knows? So yeah, this was great and fantastic. Being in the academia, in this galleria. After I was. Oh, one thing also, I think this was in the museum of the cathedral, so it was early on as I got in that museum. They also had some of the religious relics or something like that, which I found a little bit strange. I mean, those were very beautiful, one can say, containers or devices, very artful pieces to display a piece of bone or a piece of jawbone or the entire jaw or some bone of an arm. And I was just thinking, okay, guys, so this is apparently a piece of the body of a saint person. How actually did you do that? I mean, that person obviously died. And I'm quite sure you put him to rest in a very peaceful way. And then you dig that person out again to take apart his skeleton and to put a piece of his body into this container. I was a little bit confused about the tradition of, hey, on the one hand, that's the same person, but on the other hand, let's take him apart and put him in a glass tube. I don't know. But this is a piece of the way how the religious things work and so on. I don't really understand yet. Between having deep respect and don't touch them, give them rest and so on, to, hey, we disassemble that skeleton. Anyways, this was interesting, but also a little bit strange. Yeah, after I was done with the Galleria dell'Accademia, that was, as I said, also a cool place, especially seeing Michelangelo's David. There was a small church nearby, which I thought, okay, let's just get in there, let's explore. This was also a very beautiful church, very, very nice. They even had one of those little side basilicas, or however they call it, where they had a sign like, hey, this is the most sacred place of the entire church. That's for people praying only. That's not for tourists. So this was impressive. I mean, I totally respected that, but it still had a nice touch. And yeah, after I was done with that church, it was already, I don't know, 5 p.m. or so. So went home, had a little bit of rest before going to one of the restaurants my host recommended. I checked all the restaurants on Google and found out that this restaurant, they have a slaughtery in the family. I know I'm a 95% vegetarian, but I already discussed this with the exceptions. When there's a very special steak available in that region that is so typical for that reason, I had to give it a try, and I gave it a try. Very delicious. What I really found nice was also they displayed me the raw steak before cooking it, and then they, of course, neatly displayed it again. I think it was like 700 grams of meat or so. I managed to eat everything. Also had a dessert afterwards. As said, hungry boy, very hungry boy. But yeah, it was very delicious. It's kind of raw, but you haven't even noticed that it's that raw. So, man, this was fantastic. This was really a great dinner. Yeah, then I went to bed very happily, and yeah, this was the end of the first full day in Florence. I think we'll continue with the other full days in Florence the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you join me next time. Until then, my name is Sebbi. See you.